Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here, and it's Thursday. We're doing a Thursday think tank today. And sorry for the technical difficulties, but don't worry, I won't miss any of your comments. We've got the phone lines open today. If you have access to the phone number or you have the phone number already, you are totally welcome to call me today and voice your opinions on my subject today, which is we want to know what you think. Who are the real Raptors? Are the Raptors the 1-4 start at the beginning of the season? Are they the 9-0 win streak? Or are they the trouble they're having recently? We want to talk about this. I want to hear how you gauge the Raptors for the rest of the season, how you feel about them right now for their prospects in the end of the year, and what do you think is going on right now with the state of the Raptors, how many wins you think they'll make, how they'll do in the postseason. It's all on the table. If you want to talk Raptors and what you think about it today, that's right. So yeah, I'll get into the comments on the stream real quick because I still have them, even though I had to start a new stream, which was annoying. This has happened a couple days in a row now with stupid, dumb stuff. Let's see. All right, Trevor J saying this words of wisdom this morning. We cry when we have no shoes to walk in, but we saw a man with no legs and we realize how blessed we were. So stay thankful. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's always things to be grateful for and blessings for. As far as I have a roof over, I have clean water, I have people that love me. You have the ability to see. Some people are blind. You have the ability to hear. Some people are deaf. It's tough. I mean, always happiness is generated from grateful gratitude. And that's the best way to be in your life. If you want to focus on all the problems and the issues, well, you should to get rid of them or fix them or just how to deal with them. But don't dwell on them all the time and dwell on the things that are good in your life. That's what I say. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. As always, Commissioner Fun, I appreciate your part in my YouTube channel. And I hope you're doing very well down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Florida. I'm saying that wrong. Florida. I put the flaw in Florida. All right, Trevor's saying also 905. They're the bad boys. Bad boys. You make me feel so good. 11-0, baby. The 905 will be playing again today. A redo of the game last night against Delaware Bluecoats, the G League team for the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Raptors 905 had an epic win once again last night to go G League record-breaking 11-0 in the G League season. No team has ever gone 11-0 in the tip-off tournament in G League history. This isn't just franchise history. This is league history that the 905 and Andrew Jones are doing out in Mississauga right now. And maybe we're wondering about who the Raptors are today on the Thursday Think Tank. But we ain't wondering who the 905 are. No. They're a good team. And they're going for 12-0 today. And I've got your ref report for today right here. Let's see. These are the refs for tonight at Paramount Fine Food Center. 7:30 tip-off. Delaware Bluecoats, Raptors 905. Claude Mula is going to be our head ref. He is number 97. He's in his first season as a non-staff official. And he's from Albania, y'all. He did go to high school in Sarasota, Florida. And he went to the University of South Florida. Yeah, Claude Mula has 5 years of officiating experience in the NBA G League, where he worked the playoffs the last 3 seasons. He has also officiated 2 seasons in the Basketball Africa League, including the 2023 playoffs. I remember seeing Claude Mula in the Basketball Africa League highlights from over there, in that league over there. Yeah, his favorite TV show is Seinfeld. He likes the movie The Godfather. His favorite music is yacht rock, y'all. This man is sailing, takes him away. Whoa. Okay, cross to Christopher then, man. Yeah, he likes the book The Great Gatsby. That's really tone deaf in today's society, just like dumbass who had a Gatsby party recently. Yeah, it's tone deaf, man. Gatsby? As long as you get the point of the book. Okay, Claude, please. His favorite meal is Neapolitan pizza. His favorite app is YouTube. That's where you can find the Raptors Freak. And he most like to visit France. His bucket list is to backpack through Europe, and his hidden talent is cooking. Yeah, Claudia Mula is going to be in charge at Paramount tonight as the main referee, and his partners will be referee Ken Jones, number 40, and umpire AJ Ganelli, number 62. Yeah, the 905 were badasses last because the Delaware Bluecoats were making some strong pushes in the fourth quarter to try and get back. There's a bit of a revenge factor from a man named Kennedy Chandler going on last night. Kennedy Chandler, of course, was this point guard for the 905 last season, played for Raptors 905 and Andrew Jones. And he was one of the guys on the 905 last year that I criticized incessantly. He annoyed the hell out of me. He's a selfish street baller player with an ego that just isn't good for teamwork. Not good with teamwork. He's just a dude who's a ball hawk. He's a hooper. He's a very talented scorer, but he is horrible for team concept. And I was very glad he's gone. Well, he wanted to show something to us. And he was trying to get the Delaware Bluecoats back against the 905 last night any way he could. Alas, he failed. But yeah, victory in a row. 11-0. Perfect, baby. Let's go. Woo! I got my 905 hat on. That's right. You like it? You like it? Yeah. Yeah, 905 is awesome. They are now 4-0 for this month. And they help the overall Raptors record for this month be a winning record just because they're 4-0. So we're technically with the Raptors 5-4. 5-4 for the month. That's good. Stay on the winning side. I'm saying. Trevor's bringing up some NBA news from last night. The San Antonio Spurs put the Lakers out of the NBA Cup in the knockout round last night, along with Oklahoma City taking care of the Suns in a very dominant way. The Thunder embarrassing Phoenix last night and knocking them out. So it'll be Spurs versus Thunder in the semifinals on the western side, and it'll be New York versus Orlando in the eastern side in the NBA mid-season cup. Yeah, big time stuff. The Spurs winning without Victor. In fact, there's a little bit of word around that Coach Johnson of the Spurs is like holding him off for a little while because they feel like things are going so well without him out there. What does that even say about Victor Wembanyama? That the coach is like, I don't want you to come back too soon. We're kind of doing good without you. And just a very special player that was going to transform the league. It hasn't been exactly that, especially at this point, if the Spurs are winning better without him even in the game. I don't know. It's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. Kareem Thomas is here for us, not far from the great Paramount Fine Food Center, where the undefeated, amazing Raptors 905 play their games. This is what he's saying right now. The Raptors are like a NASCAR vehicle. Okay, that's an interesting analogy. It's at the top performance when everything is working. But we can't expect the team to be performing at the highest of levels. You know, this is something that Leo Routens has said in past years. The Raptors are good, but they can't afford to have any injuries or they will suffer. This may be true. You know, when we're full throttle, just like Kareem's saying as a NASCAR will be, we can go around the racetrack very fast and get a 9 win. But we're missing one key component, and that is Rowan Barrett Jr. We are not the same team. And this is what we've learned, the evidence of the last few weeks with RJ missing from the Raptors right now, how valuable he is, just how much we need. ESPN are trying to trade him to Dallas for Anthony Davis. Right now, this is what the Raptors should do. They should trade Jakob Poeltl and RJ Barrett to get Anthony Davis. Does that make any fucking sense in the world? No, it doesn't. Fuck you, ESPN, for feeding bullshit. I'm sure there's Raptors fans out there that think, oh, this is an idea. ESPN's always right. No, do not listen to ESPN. They do not have our best interests at heart. They gleefully would love to pry Captain Canada, Mr. Mississauga off of the Raptors, Mr. RJ Barrett, because they hate that synergy. They hate that relationship. So do not fall for this bullshit, Raptors Nation. Reading an article this morning that's saying a trade idea for the Raptors to trade for Anthony Davis. Just shut the fuck up, ESPN. We don't need your bullshit, your convoluted bullshit. So just shut the fuck up. And if you're reading ESPN, Raptors fans, realize they're the enemy and they do not want good things for us. And we do not need to take their advice. Trust me, because they have some bullshit advice is what I'm going to say right now. That's right. That's right. He's also saying this: we are not a 2001 Dodge Ram pickup, just getting from point A to point B like the bottom dwellers. We are the McLarens of the Indy 500. Everyone needs to chill in our base. Yeah. And our performance, not when the car is broken down. Yeah. Yeah. Because ideally, your team is fully healthy, and that is the team that you are. Are you the team when you're not healthy, when RJ's missing? No, you're not, because that's $30 million of your contract sitting on the bench with new hairstyle. No, that is not your team without RJ Barrett out there. That is not your team with Jakob half a back. No. You need them out there. You need IQ. And anybody gauging the team by the losing recently is not factoring in the RJ when he's healthy with the team kind of thing. So we need to get healthy, and we need to get back to it. All right, we got our first call on the air today. It's coming into us from Gatineau, or Ottawa region. Today we have MJ on the phone. Good morning, Fiercey.
Good morning, Lex. Good morning, Tom. How's it going?
Pretty good. I'm feeling mostly better, but I'm very happy about the 905. That's for sure.
Yes, so that's why I'm due to other commitments.
Of course,
I'm extremely happy about what I'm hearing, and I do watch the highlights too on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to say that they are adopting the same system as Darko? Is Coach Jones adopting the exact same system?
Yes.
So why is it working with them but not with us? That's the thing.
This is a fantastic, important to Coach Andrew Jones to prepare the 905 guys to play on the big level, to be ready to play for the Raptors. And we've seen them integrated into the Raptors in their lineup in the last week. And they haven't really stood out as making systemic mistakes as far as like how to work with this and the system and stuff like that. Andrew Jones very much says that I'm in service to Darko and the Raptors, and I'm doing everything on the 905 to help the Raptors. But yeah, I think to your question about the difference and why it may be working down there compared to up on the NBA level, the big difference is team play. And in the 905 in the G League, they play like a bunch of individuals that are just trying to make the NBA, and it's very hard to get them to buy into playing for each other. Now, Jones has done something rare in the G League, and this is part of the reason why they're 11-0, is that they has the 905 playing as a team at the G League level, which is very rare. And when you play as a team, teams like New York, who we just saw, they play like a team right now. You've seen how New York plays like a team. So that's the difference right there, really, simply that.
Okay, I agree. Good, thanks, Rex. But yeah. I also think that those who kept saying trade RJ, now they see, like, I'm hoping they see how valuable he is. That's when the losing streak, well, it hasn't been that good. That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah, they had good momentum when he first went out, and they won the first couple games he was absent. But shortly after that, people started feeling a big, huge difference.
Absolutely. And Jazz roster, because he was saying play hard. I'd like Darko not to go off on them, but sometimes if you see a player is not performing as they should, like, don't hesitate, bench them. I know, like you said, it has to do with the salaries and the starters. They have to have seniority, but if they're not playing up to par, and someone like AJ Lawson is like, but I think someone raised a good point that AJ only has 50 games he can play with the main roster, so that may be why. Yeah. But the thing is, that doesn't justify why he puts him out for like 2-3 minutes and then takes him out. So that takes away from those 50 games.
Right. Yeah.
So just to use them wisely and make the correct adjustments in the game. That's what I would like from Darko, and hold the players really accountable on the game.
Yeah.
While they're playing.
I completely agree with you. I don't like that the Raptors may stagger the minutes and give minutes distribution according to salary. I think that merely making nothing is playing really well that night. They should get to play more and show more. Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing about the 50 games is it's not just if he just gets in for like 2 minutes. It's even if he just dresses. If he dresses and he's sitting on the bench and he doesn't even play, that counts to win the 50 games.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Accountability is really important. And I love that clip you posted in our Discord server of Will Hardy chewing out the Utah Jazz. And he seems like he is at wit's end as far as like, yeah, I'm sick of
the game before. The Knicks were like 24 to 2 or something. So it was 2 games in a row that they were lackadaisical. So he went off. He was like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to be shaken up a bit.
Yeah.
So that it can make you put things in perspective and say, okay, guys, we need to regroup and play hard. That's what Bobby Webster had said at the
beginning of the year, the orientation. Yeah, those 3
together.
Yeah,
so
I think
that's all I have left.
Okay, okay, MJ. I was gonna say with Darko with accountability, he is a player's coach. He's very kind and but he is a hard ass. And I've seen him chew out different people, like just in the last week, especially since we've been losing, when he's letting them know. And I've seen him do it to Grady. I've seen him do it to Sandro. I've seen Andrew Jones do it to Jonathan last night at the end of the game because he didn't do something exactly right in the 905 game last night at the end. And Andrew Jones was on Jonathan Mobo for correction. So these guys are.
As a player, you don't want to hear it. It's hard to, but you have to. You need those. You need that to put you back into the game and say, okay, I have to focus.
Well,
thanks, coach.
This is the thing. Bobby Webster, Luke Wynn, the GMs of the 2 teams, they're not bringing in guys who are not teachable. If you have a guy who's stubborn, who thinks their shit don't stink, and they could just, I'm just like, good. We don't even want that type of personality around our team. We want people that want to develop and get better to earn more money and achieve higher. And that means these guys come in with the ability to take critical constructive criticism and improve. Because if a player is like, because there is a younger generation of basketball, they're just the best. And you don't want those players on your team because they won't grow. They'll come in and they'll be talented from the draft and they won't change. And you can't work with them. So you have to do a little bit of a psychoanalyst on them before the draft and see, is this a guy that you can mold? This is a guy that you can actually try and train and teach. If there's a guy who's not, you can't teach and they're just a knucklehead, you don't even say, hey, I don't want you. Because there's a lot of talented guys that come in the league in the draft every year. And there are guys like this. It's very important.
Many of them don't even stay in the league. And you're right to your point. It's not only talented is good, but you have the athleticism. Do you have the mindset? Are you focused? Are you a team player? Do you want to put in the work? Do you accept constructive criticism?
Yeah.
There's so many facets to a player that would make him be a fit as part of an organized. Like I saw Bobo was someone who was more into designing clothes and into partying.
Yeah.
That may be why he's out of the league. I'm not allegedly.
Yeah.
So that what you do outside of your job, it can also affect you. When it affects your job, then you have a good fit.
We often talk about DeRozan code on this channel, a term that I've coined about somebody they're working their ass off. And the latest Fred VanVleet podcast came out yesterday, episode number 2. And Fred talks about Norman. Fred talks about Norman extensively on this podcast. I highly recommend. It's an hour and 45 minutes of Fred, just like me on this channel. You get Fred like the Raptor Streak on this show. He talks about everything. And he gave a lot of flowers to Norman Powell on his second episode, talking about how Norman is the hardest working guy. He does 5 workouts a day. And this is the reason why 11 years into his career on the Miami Heat, he is having his career year now. It's not, he didn't peak at like 6 or 7 years in. He's peaking. I don't know if he's peaking now. He could work even harder and be better next year. But that's the thing. When you have DeRozan code, when you have guys that work their ass off, you get a guy like Norman Powell. You get a guy like DeMar DeRozan. You get a guy like Fred VanVleet.
Exactly. And Norman's on his way to becoming off. I really
podcast, Fiercey. So great minds think alike. He said that I thought Fred said I thought Norman should have been an all-star on the Clippers last year. And you know what? Freddie even went in on the Clippers for trading him. It's funny. Freddie said the Clippers traded Norman to Miami and they thought they were improving themselves. He started laughing.
Oh, wow. Oh, I gotta watch this.
It's great. Unguarded. Fred VanVleet. Fantastic podcast. Cabby makes an appearance on this one. And yeah, highly recommend Fred's new podcast, a thing that he said he'd never do. And in fact, he tells his rookies and young players in Rockets, he said, don't start podcasts. Don't do it. But then he's gone and done it because he's hurt this year and he's bored. And he doesn't.
He's injured. And to tell you, and honestly, Fred has interesting takes. He's very intelligent when
he
he
does.
It's not like weird like comments like what's it, Paul Pierce or Arenas and stuff like that. Those I will not even bother listening
to. Yeah.
Fred has intelligent takes. So
really intelligent. Like they listen, Fiercey, they're talking about stuff that you would be surprised. They talked about the Luka trade on this episode. Cabby asked Fred, what do you think about the Luka trade and how it went down? And Fred's like, I don't think anything weird was about it. I don't understand why I think happened. And Fred was listening to him. He's like, wow, that's interesting. And you have to hear it. I don't want to give it away. So y'all watch what Cabby says.
And I like Cabby, so I'll watch it.
but Fred said he's a conspiracy theory guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, MJ, I love you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend coming up. And Fiercey Jr.
We have a game Friday. We have another game.
So all W's for you guys. And you and Fiercey Jr. Yeah. All W's.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care,
Let's go Raptors.
Let's go Raptors.
That's right. Woo! Yeah, I love it. All right. We got our first call in today. It's MJ calling in from Gatineau, Ottawa region. Very important in the NBA. Very, very important. All right, let me keep going with the chat here right now. We got Black Mamba checking in. Good to see Black Mamba. God bless the almighty freak. Good morning to you, sir. I'm always grateful to have your presence in the chat. Hope you're having a very fantastic Thursday morning. All right, let's see. Blackhawks checking in also with his Owls. And there's Isaac Campbell with the starting five of Lex. Good to see you guys also there. And James is saying Anthony Davis is made of glass. No thanks. Yeah, he's the first opponent on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Glass Anthony. That's right. It's really, if you time it right and you hit him in the jaw, he goes down for the rest of the match right away. You can get him in under a minute. If you know the right technique and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on Nintendo, yeah, you can put Glass Joe down fast. And no, we ain't having none of this. Not up here. Nah, Anthony Davis, sorry, we'll pass. We're pretty good with what we've got right now. And I think that's the intensity of the trade rumors from ESPN. Saw a 9-game winning streak when RJ's healthy. And they're like, no, we can't have this. We need to go and give counter information that's messed up to mess them up. And nah, Bobby's smarter than this. If he trades for Anthony Davis, I might actually say we need to fire Bobby. Just so you know, Webster, I'll warn you right now. If you traded for Anthony Davis in the next couple of weeks, I will start coming on this channel and say we need to fire Bobby at this point. Yeah, I'm just saying that's an ultimatum right there. So tread lightly, Raptors front office. Anthony Davis is a dead end. Don't even go there. Seriously, don't fall for this bullshit. Seriously, that's right. He's a top 10 player in the league if he's healthy. If he's healthy. And how old is he now? And how long has he been healthy? And how much in his career has he been healthy? Yeah, it's nothing. We don't need this. In some ways, like even the track record of him in the playoffs, at some point he's missing games, and then it's a big drop-off at that point. And seriously, y'all, that's the trade that they have up right now is that we trade RJ, Jakob, and Oshai to the Dallas Mavericks. And they even had the audacity to write in the little article, RJ Barrett would look really good next to Cooper Flag. These assholes. Fuck you, ESPN. 2-finger salute to you, Kevin Pelton, and all you idiots at sports news anymore. You have ruined that channel. It's just like MTV got reporting and Lakers glazing. And ESPN, you suck. That's what I'll say right there. That's right. Shaq Lindsay's here. Good to see member of the channel and a great Raptor freak. Shaq Lindsay in the house. Bobby is a salary cap genius. AD? Yeah, I mean AD. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. AD's salary would not only hurt our depth of our team, but future aspects. Yeah, we're trading a draft pick too with those kind of guys. No, we're not doing this. We are not doing this. I'm sorry. Dallas's mess is not ours to clean up, and we don't have to do jack shit because we have our own thing going and we're fine, is what I'd say right there. Naco the Nacho is in the house. Gerald, how are you, sir? Holding it down in Mississauga, the land of the 905. That's right. It's going to look different. I don't think any media member will predict how it will look. What do you mean? What will look? What are you talking about? What will look? How it will look? The Raptors? Oh, the team will look different. No, we just got to get healthy and start back again on what we were doing before, which is winning and discovering how badass the Raptors are at full strength with Brandon, RJ, Scotty, Emmanuel, and Jakob as our starters. And, in some ways, we got to figure out things with the second team. We got to figure out things with our bench. We got to figure out things, the glut of guard forwards at the positions 2 and 3, and the trade deadline, and which guys are going to stay and which guy might get traded, and which guy can we get that's a backup big that isn't Anthony Davis. That's what I want to know right there. And Shaq Lindsay's saying it right here. I can see them going after Keon Ellis, Day'Ron Sharpe, or Herbert Jones. Those players. I think that Sharpe is the one that's the right one out of the three. Ellis is an interesting player, but I don't know if he's exactly necessary on our team. I feel very good about our point guard prospects and Shed and Hepburn and Martin. And I don't know if we really need Ellis. I know people have talked about Keon Ellis of the Kings a couple times and saying maybe we should get him. I'm not that we need any guards or forwards right now. We need a center. And, I think if we trade anybody, that's what we should be trying to get in position coming back. Yeah, Herbert Jones is a fantastic player. If he was a Raptor at some point, I would be very happy. But I don't know if we need him right now because, once again, these positions are pretty full around that area of the raw sense are not, I don't like that word, but choosing to act that way. The real trade with Mavs is either Gafford or Lively. Lively is done for the season. Yeah, this is interesting. I heard that Derek Lively II has taken season-ending injury surgery. And he is gone. This is a wash year for the Mavericks between Kyrie being out for a good chunk of the first part of the year, the firing of Nico, all the stupid stuff, their record. Yeah, this is a wash year for them. And you know what? Nobody needs to help them. They made their bed. This is crazy because these shortcut teams, these teams that have been doing wacky shit, are getting their karma in the end, whether it's the Clippers and what's happening to them right now, whether it's the Mavericks and what happened to them with the first pick and all the convoluted bullshit around Luke. You try to take shortcuts, you get things like the Clippers. That's what happens right there. That's right. That is right. Let's see. Nako's saying, I love Keon and I love Herb. Herb's always injured, but that's Holmes coming to Toronto would be a fun thing for Brandon Ingram and Garrett Temple, two former teammates of his on the Pelicans. I don't know. Herb Jones is a very useful player. But I don't think that it's necessary. See, the only thing is like, look, we don't just make trades for the sake of making trades. There has to be a reason, and it's filling a need, and it has to make sense. A lot of teams just make trades just to shuffle stuff around. And in some ways, I don't agree with that. And the Raptors have never been like that. Even though Raptors Nation loves talking about trades and trade fantasies and all this kind of stuff, Messiah and Bobby never really were trade guys. Overall, they do maybe one trade a year. When you make trades, that means you fucked up somewhere. And somebody on your team's not working. And you have a hole in your roster. And Bobby and Masai try to be self-sufficient and not have to rely on working with other teams or trying to get free agents or any of that kind. Not trade, draft and development and building our own guys. And when you have to make a lot of trades to your team, in some ways, that's kind of a sign that you're a bad front office, honestly. Like, I think if you took all the stats in the NBA from the last 10 years and saw which front offices most frequently make trades, they're shitty teams or they're not considered very good front offices. I think teams that trade a lot that's usually a sign that you screwed up. So if we don't have any reason to trade right now other than getting a backup big, why would we go and get somebody like Herbert Jones or Keon Ellis? Because we don't need them. We really don't. Reggie's here. Good to see the Smooth Brown Man, our reigning Raptor Freak trivia champion. Hope you're doing great this morning, Reg. Again, trading for AD means losing RJ, IQ, and Grady. Before even considering this, the Raptors would be really good check out on him, like we did for Kawhi and Brandon before, and say, hey, bring him up here. Let Dr. Alex do some medical examining on this guy and see where he's at. And if Dr. Alex is like, he says this to Bobby Webster, I'm not a miracle worker, Captain. I can't be working with this man here. He's just beyond fixing. If he says something like that, like Scotty Wood to Captain Kirk, I'll be like, yeah, pass. And that may be true, man. The injuries for AD are chronic, and they are like clockwork. They come around the clock when they are there. And it's just like, you can't. What are you buying then? You want to buy a broken toy for your kid? You're going to go to Toys R Us this holiday season and say, hey, kid, pick something. But we're in the broken toy section. You can have this, but it's broken. It's a Jack in the Box. You crank it and it never comes open. Yeah, here's your gift, kid. Yeah, this is what it feel like to get Anthony Davis, y'all. Here's your broken toy, kid. Yeah, that's not the way to live right there. That's right. Shaq Lindsay, good to see you, man. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in here. Smooth saying, talking with AD and understanding if he wants to be here. That's another thing. I like the best version of Anthony Davis was in New Orleans. Honestly, I felt like it was. And, everything since has been kind of like messed up by being around LeBron. Davis had such good work ethic, and he was way more healthy when he was on the Pelicans. And ever since he got to LA, that got all screwed up. And I feel like lazy ass LeBron I have, and I very much believe that with conviction. Because I seen a different player that was in New Orleans early in his career that was a quadruple double machine that did a lot, and we was playing crazy. And he really was one of the top players in the league at that point. And well, that's a long time ago. And that Anthony Davis does not exist anymore. It just doesn't. There's a trade-off of experience and time served, but there's also a trade-off as damaged goods, more and more damaged as time goes on. That's right. That's right. That's it right there. Kareem Thomas saying, consult with AD for what? We don't want him here. Fuck what he thinks, what he wants. That's right, Kareem Thomas. You're getting a dunk for that. And I think that puts you over 300. That's it. That's the way this guy gets over 300. He says, fuck what Anthony Davis wants. And I'm with you, man. 302 for the dunk champion. He has made the 300 mark on that one. 302, my guy. That's right. Fuck Anthony Davis and what he wants. Who gives a shit what he wants? That's right. Naga saying this. Glass Joe is the hardest dude in the remake. What? Really? Why would they do that? He's the hardest dude. He's like the last guy. Is he Mike Tyson in the newest Punch Out? That's crazy. That's crazy. That don't make no sense to me. Why wouldn't it be Ball Bull? Why wouldn't it be Super Macho Man? Or maybe the Sandman? Yeah, something like that. And Bobby, we trust. That's right, Kaloy. Good morning, Kaloy. Good morning to Santino. Good morning to these great Raptor freaks and this Raptor freak family. That's right. I'm trying to keep away from all the Raptors content till next week, but I can't help going back here every morning through the bullshit. We'll talk about the bullshit. We'll clear it up. And yeah, I mean, we love the Raptors. We want to talk Raptors, but there's so much negativity when you're losing, and there's so much kind of just bullshit that's just not worth your time. That in some ways you got to figure this out. And I appreciate that you value my stream and find it informative and entertaining and to the point that you want to be here most days. And I appreciate that, Kaloy. I appreciate you very much. Wayne is here. Sergeant Wayne Strainer, the sergeant at arms of the Raptor Freak family. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. To answer the question honestly, and this is with a healthy team, we are, so this is where Wayne's seeing us. He thinks we're the number 5 seed in the East, which is not home court advantage, but it is a full playoff spot. That's interesting. Even when on our win streak, we were giving up easy points by being docile at the rim. Team is soft. Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that we got to clean up and improve as the season goes on. And, March, April, if the team is more committed to doing things correctly and they clean up things and they're making more of their shots, this could all be very good stuff. And it's a work in progress the whole entire season. Now, it's a blessing in disguise, we've said, that some of the problems with our team have come to the front now, early in the season, and not at the end of the season. So we have time to fix our team, whether it's through the front office or through coaching and developing and getting the guys to play better and better as the games go by. Big part of it. I appreciate Wayne's comment, and his opinion is noted. Number 5 in the East, I still think we can be 4, but that's right next to each other. So we're not that far off of each other right there. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying this, them falling in the standings could be valuable for them getting 1 or maybe 2 of these players because the pick is more valuable. Keep eye out for Keon, Sharp, or Hurd. Trust me, Keon is no joke on both ends of the court. Much needed spark off the bench and only $3 million. Plus, you still have enough money to go after a center. Well, this is a value switch that Bobby sees as far as an upgrade and an uptick. Maybe he does see it, and maybe he does think the way you're thinking, Shaq. Maybe he does. I don't know. Once again, Bobby Webster is a cap genius, and he is our GM. He's the head of basketball operations, and he will know better than me. But if he does trade for Anthony Davis, I will call for him to get fired. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm just going to say that. That's right. Reggie's saying this. Plus, AD doesn't want to be a 5. He prefers to be a 4. Not worth the risk. Too much to lose. Yeah, this league needs 5s. And this man has a 5, but he doesn't want to play 5? What the hell is this? Seriously, what the hell is this? Oh, my God. All right, let me do stars of the game for the 905 real quick. Quincy Guerrier of the Montreal Alliance, also of Team Canada, and also of the Raptors 905 for 2 seasons now. was the star of the game last night. He, in fact, got the chain from Andrew Jones last night. Quincy off the bench was told before the game that he'd only play 8 minutes in the 905 game last night, but he played so well, he made that into 22 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. He, in fact, hit a dagger 3 in the last couple minutes of the game to help them keep a good margin above the Blue Coats. 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and 1 block, a plus 13 for Montreal's Quincy Guerrier. Just a fantastic game and the star chain of the game. The second star of the game last night was Mobo. Mobo has been playing a lot lately. Double duty between the Raptors and the 905. And, well, his a lot more leadership. There's a lot more stat stuffing. And he really is like mini Scott on the 905. He plays like Scotty Barnes on the 905. 29 minutes, 20 points, 8 of 11 shooting, which is fantastic. He missed both the threes he tried to shoot. 4 of 6 at the free throw lines, 5 rebounds and 2 steals and 3 blocks, no turnovers and 5 rebounds. That's fantastic. Great job, Jonathan Mobo. You continue to excel on that 905. The third star of the game got a double-double, and he this year 36 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. He hit both his free throws, 2 rebounds, 15 assists, 17 points, 15 assists. But he did have 6 turnovers also, 3 steals, and a -9 overall. Chucky, he's a real point guard. He's a true point guard. Anybody can get 15 assists in a game is a true point guard. Just cut down on those turnovers and continue to try and make your shots better. Because in some ways your shooting's still not exactly right, but it's mostly right, Chucky. It's mostly right. My 4th star for last night is Brampton's own AJ Lawson. AJ Lawson, not a high-scoring game, but a very important player, as Andrew Jones on 7 of 17 shooting, 2 of 8 from the 3, made his free throw, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, and 1 steal, a +3 for AJ Lawson. It's kind of a quiet night, but it's still, he's an integral part of the 905 and they're winning. And yes, I do want to see him play for the Raptors more. Yes, I do. And the last star I have for the game last night is Tyson Degenhart. Tyson Degenhart out of Boise State. Off the bench, 16 minutes, 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting, including 2 of 3 from 3. 4, who has been a very unsung hero for them off the bench. The part of the success of the 905 is that they have role players and they have guys that have different identities that do different things and they are comfortable in their roles and they come out and do what they do best. There's nobody trying to go and blur lines and go and do other people's departments. They all know who they are and what they're supposed to do, and they work with each other. And credit to Luke Wynn for putting together a team that actually really works together with the right components, the right people on this team. They really are a unit, and they are bought in under Andrew Jones, and they play the right way. I'm telling you right now. Honorable mention can go to Tyreek Key in 18 minutes off the bench, 7 points on 3 of 4 shooting. He missed his only 3. He made his free throw, and he had 1 assist, and he was a +12. Just going over the rest of the guys while we're here, because I probably won't come back to this box score. Olivier Sarr, you're crazy, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? You get a flat point-blank dunk almost every single game, and you manage to miss it. How do you miss dunks when there's nobody near you, and you're right there, and you're like almost 7 feet tall? How do you miss dunks, bro? Zutalor, French guy. How do you miss these dunks, man? Like, you're right there. The ball is here in your hand. They give it to you. There's nobody near you. There's no defender near you. The rim is right there, and the ball can just go in the – I don't understand you, man. I really don't understand you, Olivier Sarr. You're definitely no Alex Sarr. Let's put it that way. 18 minutes, 6 points, 3 of 7 shooting. He misses only 3, but 10 rebounds and 1 assist, 2 turnovers, and a block. Yeah, solid in some ways. Elijah Martin, a quiet night. He is 29 minutes, 10 points, 2 of 4, solid, contributed. But after the games he's been having recently, this is a down tick from what he's done in games recently. David Roddy off the bench, 3 points in 12 minutes. He hit a 3, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, -5. Julian Reese, 1 point in the second half. Andrew Jones put Julian Reese in, and he got a foul right away, and he took him out. Like, he was in for like 5 seconds. He came in, he got a foul, and then he came back out right away. He fouled somebody. But yeah, Juju Reese had foul trouble last night. In 10 minutes, he had 4 fouls, and he was getting a quick hook from Coach Jones because I think he was putting it on him. It's like, you can play out there as long as you don't foul. Okay, coach. And he goes out there, and I'll tell you, the one foul that he got pulled right away for was a body foul where he just hit the guy with his stomach and kind of bumped him. But the ref called it, and Andrew Jones immediately pulled him out of the game. It's crazy. It's weird, man. But rebounds, 1 turnover, a +7 with 4 fouls in 10 minutes. Jarkel Joyner is the last person to go over. 16 minutes, 6 points, 3 of 7 shooting, a rebound, 2 assists, a turnover, a +19. Actually, a very good plus for Jarkel. Yeah, Kennedy Chandler was the enemy last night, and he was on revenge. He had a slow first half with just 4 points, but in the second half, he exploded, and he was coming after us. 20 points for Kennedy in 35 minutes, 7 of 20 shooting, so he didn't shoot that well. He took a lot of shots to make what he got. 4 of 12 from three-point land. Yeah, it's Kennedy, man. 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, and 4 steals for Kennedy Chandler. And that's about it. I don't even need to go over the rest of them. But yeah, the 905 in a close game, 108 to 115. This is a close routes. So yeah, they shot 53% and 44 for Delaware. We made 10 threes to their 11. We shot 75% at the free throw line when we got the same amount of free throws points. They did out rebound us +3. The assist to turnover ratio, 29 assists for 905 to 17 turnovers, which is pretty good. It's not exactly 2-1. Fast break points were even, and we won +4 in the points in the paint. So yeah, there's your Raptors 905 box score wrap up right there. Fantastic job by the 905. And well, it's so fun. Let's do it again tonight. 905, 7:30, Delaware Bluecoats, once again at Paramount Fried Food Center. And just a real quick note, whoever that young kid is at that game last night, who's yelling defense all through the game, just like I would, you're my people. I love you, kid. And when the Raptors had the ball, Raptors, and every single time Delaware had the ball, it was defense, defense. And I heard you the whole entire time, kid, during the game last night. And salute to you. You are my people. That's right. That's right. Be like us. Be like the kid at 905 last night and Lex. And be loud at every single Raptor game you go to, whether it's at Paramount or Scotiabank. That's right. That's right. Let's go. All right, let's see. Kareem saying Dallas wants to move on from Anthony Davis after 6 months, and people want to trade half the lineup for this shit is crazy. Yeah, that's a real red flag right there for sure. You just spelled it out like in a logical way that makes total sense right here. They already want to get rid of him. They just had him from Christmas last year. Ah, there you go. That says enough right there. It says enough right there. Reggie's saying Raptors have to be patient. These guys have to learn to win. It's 3 years of very bad basketball. We aren't used to the process of winning anymore. It takes time. Yeah, I mean, all these guys had a learning curve. And one of the things I want to remind everybody is we won a G League championship in 2017, and then we won an NBA championship in 2019. Now, I feel like the wave from the G League level came up to the Raptors, and it helped how we won the championship in 2019. Now, I've often said in recent by G League's performance, and well, they're 11-0 to start the season right now. So if the G League team wins this year, well, could we focus and say, you know what? The Raptors could win 2028 NBA champions? Because that's 2-year window after that, and that wave coming from the 905. I'm just saying this is the way it worked last time. And it was kind of essential for us to win in 2019, having that wave coming up from the G League. Because that wave was Fred. That wave was Pascal. That wave was Norman. So I look at it this way. The health and the wave coming up from the G League is going to go into the Raptors, and we're going to get that boost then. So maybe it's a little early. Maybe we saw a 9-game winning streak. We're like, hey, we can win the championship this year. Well, we could technically still. But is it likely? No. And we do need some trial and error and still some learning years. And this is, if we declared that the rebuild, it's not right, because it's a rebuild and a build up to the next championship. And you could even be winning and still rebuilding to get to that championship, even with a winning record. So we're just going to have to see how it goes and be patient. And honestly, let's not have quick reactions or like kind of drastic or desperate reactions just because people are saying you need AD or this, or fans are going crazy because of this or this. No, we'd have to have a calm, steady hand, sailing the ship as the captain. And Bobby Webster is that guy, as Masai was before him. So that's what we need, not to overreact, not to get over drama, and trust the path that we're already building for ourselves. And let's not don't need to go in that direction. That's right. That's right. That shiny bright thing is a broken AD. We don't need that. We don't need that. That's right. Gerald's saying, oddly enough, Dallas used to make a lot of trades, good trades too. And then, yeah, I don't know if you call them good or not. I don't think, I think that once again, one of the biggest mess ups the Dallas Mavericks made was Brunson getting to New York, whether they could stop that or not, because Brunson really wanted to be a Knick no matter what. It seems like that. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying, imagine a bench: Shed, Keon, Collins, Sandro, and Sharp with and Jacoby. I mean, in some ways, I know you're very high on Keon Ellis, but until it's like more substantial or he's actually on the ground, I'm not going to think about this too much. I'm not going to. Yeah. Yeah. Bryce is saying, don't blame Bron, Lex. Lakers, their organization themselves. This was really interesting. Fred revealed this on his Unguarded podcast, if he was a Bulls fan when he grew up in Rockford, because that makes sense. He's in Illinois, Michael Jordan, the Bulls, and all that. He said, no, I wasn't a Bulls fan. I was a Lakers fan. He was a big Lakers fan when he was a kid. Well, was he a Lakers fan when he got to the NBA? He said no, because I found out about the Lakers organization and who they are and what they're all about, and I did not want to be a Laker anymore. That's interesting that Fred would say that. That's interesting. As a child, he dreamed about being a Laker and wanting to play for that storied franchise. But when he got into the system of the NBA and he saw the lay of the land and saw what the Lakers are all about, he didn't want to be a Laker anymore. That's very interesting. Don't you think? Could it be that it's a very toxic franchise and that LeBron's just have been very toxic, especially since Dr. Jerry died? Jeannie Buss has been a toxic person. Phil Jackson's been a toxic person. Rob Pelinka's been a toxic person. Nico Harrison was a toxic person on that team at times too. So maybe it's the environment. Maybe it's just like, yeah, you're a Laker. You can be cool and be like, this is prestige, and you rest on your laurels. I don't know. Whatever the hell happened to Anthony Davis between coming from New Orleans to LA, and his player profile and the way he plays was drastic. If you ask me, his numbers production fell off. And maybe it's partly because he's playing with more talented people around him. For me to pinpoint LeBron as the number one person that would influence him, because he's a franchise player there and he's the leader. And like I've said, LeBron, he may have a very good talent and a very strong body that's played for many, many years. The way he holds himself rubs off on players, because they stop playing as hard. They stop playing as well. I don't know what it is, Bryce. I want to be fair about this. There's something wrong with the Lakers. Let's just put it that way. And maybe they're winning right now. Maybe they're getting going. And maybe Luka's pissed off because Dallas said he was lazy and he's out of shape. And he came back and he's trying this year. Either way, I think it's fair to say that Davis changed as a player from Pelican to Laker. And that's just the damn truth. You can go look at the stats and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's it right there. Yeah, Bryce is saying AD is just glass. It's that simple. That's his problem. AD and Joel should medically retire. I love that. That's fantastic. Bryce, I'm going to give you a dunk for that one. I think maybe you should be right. Yeah, Joel, I want Joel to hang around longer just to give the false hope for Philadelphia. Because as long as he's there, he will block them from winning championships. So I don't mind him being around. 27 on the dunk charts for Bryce this year. There you go, Bryce Lawson. Yeah, he blocks them from winning. So stay in the league as long as you want, Joel. You're fool's gold. You're fool's gold. That's right. Nako's saying this. Sandman is the final boss. Ko is just the hardest guy to beat. So Sandman is the final boss and the new Punch-Out? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Nako's saying we're a flawed playoff team when healthy. I don't know if that's true. Why do you say that? I don't think we were that flawed. Honestly, we had a lot of good things going when we were rolling. I don't know. I don't know why you say we're a flawed team. Tell me the flaw. If you're going to say we're a flawed playoff team, I don't even know what that means, Gerald. I've never heard that. A flawed playoff team? That don't make no sense. I've never heard that term in basketball circles ever. You're a flawed playoff team. You're either a playoff team or you're not a playoff team. How do you know if they're flawed or not? So medically retire. Maybe. If LaMelo gets another ankle injury, he's up there on the list as well. It's like Jack says, get that garbage out of here in the NBA. There's a lot of guys who are, talented and they could have been something, but they just didn't take that brass ring and they had no DeRozan code. So they floundered and wasted everybody's time, wasted time, energy, millions of dollars, fans' hopes and wishes in different cities. There's a lot of these guys around the league: Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, Zion Williamson, Ben Simmons, these kind of fluky guys. They're flukes. They're fool's gold. That's right. Fool's gold. That's right. Indiana would be teams that are in on Anthony Davis, legit in and have the assets to trade for him. The Indiana thing seems like that's good. That seems like a good fit. They do need a center there badly. I think that Detroit is like us. They're showing success this year already. And bringing in an Anthony Davis may be risky in the same way that's risky for us. And they may be like, nah, we pass. But Indiana being at the bottom of the standings and their hole at center, it makes a lot of sense for the Pacers. But I think Detroit being the number one team in the East would be like, nah, we ain't broke. Don't fix it. So that's what I would think there. That's right. 905. That's right, baby. That's right. Look at this. Yeah, I got my 905 Black History Month shirt on. That's area. Go there, because last night it looked like the Mississauga Arena was very empty because of the snow, because of the weather. A lot of people don't want to be traveling around with so much snow on the ground. But hey, it was an empty house. You could have gone down there and been real loud, like that kid. That guy's my guy. That kid. That's right. Bryce is saying, anybody know what Shamshay is doing? Is he training? Did he move back home? I don't know, man. I don't know. Total radio silence. The last thing we saw of Shamshay was that he attended the first Raptors 905 game of the season. He was sitting at courtside. He was officially watching the Raptors 905 win their first game of the season. And it made me think maybe there is a hope that he'll circle back and be on our team. But no, there's nothing on his Instagram. There's nothing out there at all. I don't think I've heard anything about him. I haven't heard anything from the Fitness to Play panel. We hadn't heard anything from Clutch and Rich Paul, and nothing from him personally. So I have no idea where in the world he is right now. He could very well be back in Cameroon. He could very well be somewhere in the States. He could very well be under the care of doctors to try and figure out how to help him get back to his career. It's all fishy to me once again. The Raptors get two great Cameroonian projects, and both of them get taken from us in a weird ass way by a Fitness to Play panel that is mysterious and doesn't really openly about their parameters or why things happen. I understand part of that is the patient's privacy, but also at the same time, a lot of people, especially here in Raptors Nation, were wondering why this keeps happening. And also, I'll speculate that the Raptors have an open roster spot still to safely land Shamshay right back when they do clear him, because we do have an open roster spot. We have had this whole entire season, and we could have filled it at any time. Now, let's think about this. If Shamshay had not been taken from us this season, would he have sufficed as the backup center for the Raptors in the situations they have been? Maybe not exactly cleanly, but he was coming along and showing a lot of promise. His body was built up, and he was learning more and more and getting fast learner. But it could very well be he was still going to be a foul machine, and he could have made a lot of mistakes. But I think that he could have had a real impact, because last year when he would play on the 905, he was a real difference when he was on the court defensively, and other teams suffered and did not have an easy time scoring if he was on the court. So he could have had this impact for us on the Raptors possibly as a backup center in the depth at that position for us. So right now, it helps that Christian Coloco got waived by the Lakers, and his career is all messed up from doing that. So there's your cautionary tale, Ulrich. Don't follow Coloco's path. Come back to the Raptors because we'll develop you, and the Lakers will ruin your career. Honestly, do not do that. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Mamba's saying that's a good team. That's a good team. Yeah, yeah. Shaq Lindsay's saying this. Jonathan plays so well on the 905. I just wonder why it hasn't translated in the NBA. It has though. What? Especially Elijah Martin, because honestly, he's got a lot to prove. It was funny. They asked him after the game last night about making his NBA debut against the Celtics this weekend, and he got really emotional, and it's a big deal. He was upset though that he missed the layup that he tried to take in that game. He really points, and as of right now, neither Martin or Hepburn have scored in the NBA. They've made their debuts, but they didn't score at all in these games they played. They've both played 2 games now. Neither one of them has scored a point. So there's a lot of gumption and a lot of hungry in Mike Martin and Hepburn. Trust me. And I don't think I question anything about Lawson as far as his get up and go and his trying and getting after it. No, that guy is all out. I don't see any problems with them staying hungry. I do not see any problems with that. Jonathan actually does play well on the Raptors. Last year he played a lot more because we needed him more on the Raptors, and he was a bona fide NBA player. I mean, I think that in some ways the reason why Jonathan's playing on 905 is just we have such a stacked big roster that it's good for Scotty for the 905. And if they want to try and mimic our system on the Raptors on 905, he plays that role as Scotty would on the Raptors. I don't know. I have no problem with how they're using Jonathan. I exactly thought that this is exactly how they'd use him in the summer. And it's not about him not being able to play in the NBA. He can. And his parameters for like defensive stats in certain ways, he's one of the best defenders in certain situations in the NBA, not even just in the G League. So there's nothing going wrong with what's going on with Mobo. Mobo trusts his path with God and Jesus, and he said, in some ways, he's just a willing soldier to go wherever they tell him to, and that's why he's played so much on both teams because he's not saying no. He's like saying, yeah, Mobo right now. This is only good that he's getting a lot of 905 time because that time is not going to be found on the Raptors. He's going to be sitting on the bench watching everybody else play, so he needs to be down there. Yeah, Wayne's saying this turnovers for Chucky once it's below a certain threshold is understandable. Darko has to keep certain people together on the court. Shed, AJ, Martin, and Mamu gel together. Try at least 3 or 4 together. Yeah, I like finding synergies. I feel like the Shed Sandro synergy has been really good. You find certain synergies, you want to go into them, right? IQ, Pirtle, stuff like that. Scotty and Pirtle. There's different synergy too. And you want to definitely keep those kind of units and those connections together and make the best of them on minutes on the court for sure. For sure. I'm about that. Yeah, Chucky's got a road of progress that he's got to go down if he's going to want to be like Fred and be an undrafted, a full-time NBA team that's going to trade for AD is the Kings or maybe the Pelicans. One bad contract for another. Yeah. That's what the ESPN should be looking at is like, who has a bad contract? You trade John Morant for AD. You trade Zion for AD. That this makes sense. Maybe you trade AD for somebody like DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. Yeah, this makes way more plausible sense to me. Once again, ESPN's trying to put on us that we have to make a trade. We don't need to make a trade or do nothing. We just need to get healthy. And there's other teams that much worse positions are in positions where they probably should make a trade. And Dallas is one of them. And, well, Memphis is one of them. New Orleans is one of them. Sacramento is one of them. Charlotte's one of them. Trade AD to Charlotte for LaMelo Ball. Yeah, why are you coming to talk about RJ off of Canada's team? Oh, because he's from Canada. He's from Toronto. And you hate that we have that pairing up, that RJ's so happy to be on this team. I'm sure it burns New York people that RJ Barrett's much more happier to be on the Toronto Raptors than the New York Knicks, and that he's home. And that this, I'm sure that just pisses off New York fans to an extent. And this is where this manifests because a lot of the NBA head offices in New York and a lot of the reporters and Bleacher Report and all this other bullshit emanates from New York. So in some ways, is this a manifestation of insecurity and bullshit from New York fans that are like, RJ's happier being a Raptor than a Knick. That's what I think. That's what I think. And they want to pull it apart. So they'll write dumbass articles like this one saying we should trade RJ to the Dallas Mavericks for Anthony Davis. That's right. That's right. Cream Thomas saying Raptors don't need to learn how to win. Where was the learning curve during our win streak? People are too much in their feelings when we are losing, not considering that we are injured. Believe your eyes. I think it's a combination of being injured and having to lean on Brandon and other players a little bit heavier so that their fatigue raised up too. And we can't get as twisted. Once again, I'll look at this back to November with Bruce Brown as the person. And I look here and I see 15 games on this calendar for the Raptors. And there's only 30 days in November. So you do the math. They played every other day for the whole entire month of November. And then to start December, let's see, it's the 11th. We'll just say we'll end on the 9th because that was their last game 2 days ago. How many games did they play in the first 9 days of December? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they played 5 out of the 9 games there. So you do the math. Out of 39 days, they played 20 games. 20 games in 39 days, y'all. When you put it the way I just said it, listen to that. That's more than half of the days. That's 30. And you understand why. Because they just jammed 20 games in 39 days, y'all. So this 5-day break that we're getting during this is a godsend right now. These guys needed it. Let's go to the Instagram stories. Let's see what they're doing on their day off. Jamal Shed talked about it after the game against New York. It's like, yeah, we're going to get this rest now. And coaches told us to take the next 2 days off. So yesterday and today, the Raptors are completely off and they are wherever they want to be. And in fact, Jamal Shed has gone back to Houston and he was at courtside for the Houston game, his alma mater. So yeah, guys are taking time off and they're getting rest and they're getting time with family and they're getting time with friends. And Jamal went back to Houston. Yeah, let's see what else is going on in the Instagram. We got Coach Andrew Jones coming in to give the chain to Quincy. What a way to make history. It's like the guys on 905 are really smart. They're not saying we wanted to make this win streak. We thought we were going to. No, they're like, we just tried to come out with the effort and play the right way. And this win streak just manifested. And it wasn't a directive. It wasn't something we intended. But hell, we'll keep going in this direction and see how far we can go with it. You know, Tyreek Key, Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, they're all saying stuff like, you know what? We want to go for 12 in a row. We want to go 13 in a row, 14 in a row, 15 in a row. They don't want to lose again. And they're going to try really hard. And the game tonight against Delaware is going to be really tough because those Bluecoats, they want to end our streak. And everybody's going to be gunning for 905 like they're the champions of the NBA to try and knock them off their pedestal. So this is going to be a really difficult game tonight, Raptors freaks, against the Delaware Bluecoats. Right away. Yeah. Darko said this after the game against New York. He said, I wish we were playing New York again right now because I want a chance to come right back at them in a playoff series. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you, Darko. I hear you. Yeah. Quincy getting that chain is awesome. And 11-0 G League history is a fantastic thing. Zach Edey is celebrating John Conchar. He is in the Hall of Fame for Purdue. Purdue Hall of Fame. John Conchar inducted. There's Jonathan Mobo with the score from the 905 game that he was a part of there. And there he is in the Serious Players Only commercial. He's designing things on the wall. He's writing out designs and showing it to his friends. He's back. She's back. And looking at the win, the 11 straight watch on ESPN Plus and NBA TV Canada. Yeah, there's a screw up with the Yahoo for the Raptors 905 game last night. They had it listed for tomorrow, and they didn't have it live until the second half, but they fixed it. And people got to watch it on YouTube in the second half. But what was that about? NBA G League. And you screw up there. You got to broadcast your games up here in Canada on YouTube and stop screwing around. That's what I say right there. Yeah, let's see. There she is interviewing Tyson Degenhardt and Quincy. Yeah, Lindsey Dunn, you're awesome. And I know that you left, but I'm very happy that you're still the sideline reporter for 905. She knows that those are future stars coming up in Mississauga right there. That's right. That's right. Let's see what else we got. Lloyd's wearing red shoes. I'm not sure where he's at. Fred VanVleet has got his new podcast episode on Blast on his Instagram stories. He talks in depth about Dillon Brooks and the differences between him and Dillon and how it was as teammates on the Rockets for a couple years there. I love what Fred says about Dillon Brooks. And it's exactly how I saw, but there is a genuine respect between the two of them. And I think one of the coolest things that Fred revealed about his relationship with, even though Dylan was crazy and he did all that kind of stuff, he kind of lets out the secret to his madness. And he also made it very clear that Dylan very much respected Fred's leadership, and that he would, when Fred told him to do stuff, he'd listen to him. So that's good. And he also believes that Dylan and him were like a yin and a yang, and that in some ways he helped Dylan coexist because of the way he is with his steadiness. So very, very interesting. He goes in depth about the relationship between him and Dylan. And at one point, Dylan, they were playing the Rockets, and Dylan Brooks is on the Suns, and he's running up and down the court, and Fred's sitting on the sideline. Actually, this was the Rockets weren't playing; it was the Spurs. And Fred went to the game early because he just wanted to watch it. And he's sitting there in the front court, and Dylan runs by him, and he says, "Why did?" to Fred. That's hilarious to me, man. But yeah, you got to watch the Fred VanVleet podcast. There's so many nuggets just like that in the new episode. This show's gonna be really good, man. How he thinks in his brain, man. Because there's Norman Powell working out, and he's making fun of the rookies because they had to sing karaoke at some sort of function. The Miami Heat rookies. That's hilarious when that has to happen. Yeah, they were singing all kinds of songs. Simone Fontecchio was even up there singing a couple song with his wife or girlfriend. That's hilarious. Yeah, good stuff there. Let's see. Jameson Battles watching soccer again. He's always watching the football. He's a big Spurs fan in the soccer. Grady Dick went to Impact Kitchen. He's building his body up with Impact Kitchen downtown. I believe they're a Canadian company. So if you want to get Impact Kitchen, go on and get it. News out of Spain. Eugene Omarui has moved on from Dubai and playing professionally there to Spain. He's a new member of Baskonia. And the interesting thing is the team Simmons on it. So he's joining two of his teammates from 905 on this new Spanish team. So Eugene is running with Marquise and Kobe Simmons, former 905ers in the Spanish league. And that team also has TLC on it, guys. TLC, you remember TLC? And also Roderick Kurax, who was in our summer league a couple summers ago. So it's a pretty stacked Spanish team. And the addition of Eugene Omarui with Marquise Noel once again. That's a fun team. I'd almost want to watch that Spanish team with Gino and Marquise. That'd be fun, man. But yeah, welcome to Baskonia, Eugene Omarui. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Sandro's girlfriend's buying candles at Michael's. She's very happy with the price for certain candles there. SGA's got new shoes that are dropping, and he's got these are red shoes in the middle of the winter. Putting up shots. He's still working out, and he's waiting for that call, Bobby. We want to reacquire one of our 2019 NBA champions. Serge Ibaka is available, and we do have an open roster spot. I'm just saying. Let's see. Colin Roy Bowles got his entry pick, and let's see. CEBL news: three-time MVP Xavier Moon, related to Jamario Moon, agrees to terms with the Winnipeg Sea Bears. And the Canadian Elite Basketball League news right there. There you go. That's your Instagram check. And yeah, lots of stuff going on around with Fred VanVleet's new podcast. You guys got to check this out, man. It's really, really cool, man. It's really, really. Kareem saying this. Bryce, we already established that Shamshay is honoring his lease on his apartment. He's in Toronto somewhere, or maybe Saga. Who knows? I don't know if that's true. You said that as a joke. That doesn't establish the truth, Kareem. Just because you said, yeah, Shamshay's still at the 905 game because he has a lease that hasn't run out. That don't sound right to me. Dude, I'm telling you right now, when this snow showed up here in Ontario, he got the hell out of here. I'm telling you right now, he's not in Canada right now. I know for sure he probably isn't. G's here. We are still going up the escalator. Just took a few stops down. Growth is not linear. Yeah, we jumped up and skipped some people on the escalator going up, but then we had to go back down a couple too. Yeah, we ran ahead of the Celtics and the Knicks for a second, but now they jump back up in front of us. Well, let's not lose any more games so that the Sixers jump in front of us too. We don't want that. That's right. That escalator analogy fits to this. And sometimes you're a couple steps up, closer to the top. OKC's at the very top of the escalator, and other teams are right behind of the escalator and not in the bottom half of the escalator. I would say that. That's right. That's right. Kareem saying this, I'm impressed with Mobo. And when did he become so sufficient with his left? He's actually a lefty naturally. Yeah, he's a lefty naturally. So it's he works both hands. He's ambidextrous. Yeah, he's naturally a lefty. Mr. Roger Raymond's here. Good morning to you, sir, and thank you for supporting my channel. Let's see, what's he saying? Good morning, Raptor Freaks. We are on our record. We are our record. So 15 and 11. With patience, hard work, and the right personnel, the Raptors can become a team that could be resilient to the loss of any one player. Yeah, some of that's just depth. Some of it is experience. Our team is very fast passing. These are things that got to tighten up. Young players have to realize what it takes to win in the NBA and how much better you have to be. And there's lessons that these guys are learning currently as we go through the games recently. That's definitely part of it. The absence of RJ shows how far we are from this ideal. Yeah, with RJ back, we look a lot better because RJ's very professional and he carries himself at a higher standard and a very high level of play. And he does help us immensely. Milbester is back. We got our Knicks fan back in the house. He's saying, I heard the Knicks were going to lose the NBA Cup, the Raptors, until Raptors fan was talking smack to Brunson and woke up his Villanova aura for 35 points in Scotiabank. Brunson's a master. All right, I'll allow one. That's it. You be doing this anymore further in the chat. I don't know what this is or where you made this up or whatever. I don't think Jalen Brunson needed a fan to talk smack for him to come to the game the way he did. I think that he just does things the way he does it. I think this is some sort of weird folklore. I doubt that this is what happened. I really doubt this is what happened. All right, Cream Tom is saying, I only thing I want the Raptors to do during the Dark Ages or Ice Age. I don't even know. That's dramatic. That's dramatic. As some fans would have it, is that we need to play AJ Lawson more as Barrett is injured and still figure out the backup center. Yeah, we need to acquire another big, and I am not against this. Once again, Canadian content matters, and you got to hear April Wine and Kim Mitchell every once in a while because it's just a Canadian content rule. And I want AJ Lawson playing for the Raptors because we need the Canadian content on that team with RJ out. And because listen, some of these guys, we could be suspicious of them, but not AJ and RJ because they do it true from their heart for their own city. And that's why we need AJ out there. That's right. I'm with that. Kaloy's saying, I want Dylan Brooks on the Raptors for sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He would bring edge to us. He could be absolutely as crucial and helpful in ways. I've called him evil Danny Green at times. Yeah, it's like there's Danny Green and then there's evil Danny Green. Well, we won a championship with Danny Green, the good Danny Green. Let's go win with the evil Danny Green and get Dylan Brooks back home in Mississauga and with RJ. And yeah, Villain Dylan can be our villain once again, not just for Team Canada, but for the Raptors. And don't get it twisted. Villain Dylan would love to play for the Toronto Raptors. We know he would because this is a team he grew up watching and come to the arena to watch. That's right. That's right. These Canadian guys from Canada, they want to play here. And that includes the big man from Purdue that wears a Grizzlies jersey, right? I know. He usually isn't this cocky. He just said Jalen Brunson is a master. Like, what is this? What is this? Trust me, when we're fully healthy, we're going to dig a spot for you for your team under MST. Now we're going to get to play the Knicks 5 times this year because of this knockout game we played this week. Now we're down 0-2 already, but there's 3 more games against them for the season. We can still win the season series, Milbester. We're up against the wall, and it may be hard to win all 3 of the rest of the games against New York for the rest of the season. But there is the possibility we do that, even though we've lost 10 straight to your team. Something's got to break at some point. At some point, our guys would be like, screw this. And I want the former Knicks to be like this. Like, quickly, Barrett, don't you want to beat these guys? Or are you too friendly with them that you're like, I don't want to beat my friends? No, you guys should be wanting to beat them because I'm sure they talk some trash back to you guys at the end of the game. I see you hanging out with Brunson after the game, RJ Barrett, talking with your hand over your mouth. And who knows what you guys were saying. Quickly wasn't there to bed with a fever. So, yeah, he wasn't there to talk to you guys. And, well, I'm just saying, I want these New York guys on our team to get a win against their old team because they haven't done that yet since they came to our team. And there's something weird about that. That's right. G saying this. Well, Milbester Raptor playing injured, so 3 stars were compromised. That's like Brunson, OG out, and Cat playing injured. They did have Deuce out, which he was a crucial guy in the first game against us. Yeah, that's not mathing with Barrett and Quickly being out. That's right. That's not mathing. It's not mathing right. Exactly. Yeah. Knicks were losing when Hart wasn't starting, so clearly starting lineups make a difference for them. Yeah. Yeah. Milbester's saying Mike Brown made us a better team. The team is playing well together, and we have a coach that knows how to connect with players with experience and very well-rounded coach. And we didn't with Tibbs. I always loved Mike Brown. I'm happy he's doing well. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, Mike Brown's done a good job so far this season. I will admit that. But this is the thing. There's hope, Milbester. Because at the beginning of the season, y'all didn't start right. New York fan nation is crazy. And when y'all don't have success, y'all eat your own. So you better hope the Knicks, if they continue to play really well, they continue the whole season. Because if they have a dead spot like we just did, if y'all have a few of your players go down and y'all start losing way more than you're winning, your fan base will turn on Mike Brown and they will come at him in a toxic way. You know that's true, Milbester. You're a middle of the Knicks nation. You know that's true. So you better hope and pray that y'all stay healthy and you continue to stay successful because they will come after your coach. You know they will. That's just the nature of your market. That's right. That's right. Kaloy saying this, that loss was more on the Raptors needing to figure out some things during injuries. Enjoy the wins now, Milbester. Wait till the Knicks are gutted to get Giannis in a Knicks jersey. I don't think Giannis wants to go there, though. I mean, I think this is all manufactured crap because if you read the fine print when they talk about Giannis, basically what they're saying in the Bucks, which is a really big possibility, is probably a bigger percentage possibility, or to go to another team. And we know Giannis has kind of made overtures. If he does go to another team, he wants to stay in the East, and his preferred destination is New York. But once again, everybody's glossing over the whole part where the conversation between Giannis and the front office of the Bucks is whether to stay or go clash. Should I stay or should I go? And in some ways, the option is very prominent that he would like to just stay. So I think this is a lot of hot air in some ways. If there is a move that happens in December this month where Giannis becomes a Knick, I'm going to call Luka all over again. That Adam Silver pushed this to happen. The invisible hand of Adam Silver pushing a superstar to a big market and making it a new feel and fresh and shuffling it up. And that's the thing that Fred doesn't understand on his podcast, Unguarded. Why the hell would they do the Luka trade? And what is the better in a new toy? And all of a sudden, Lakers Nation's revitalized and interested in watching more. That's what it does, Fred. You know this. You're a businessman. You can figure this out. So trade somebody big to another team and make a big splash. Don't take no Brian Winders to figure this out. You can see it if you just open your eyes and look right at it directly. I mean, if they're going to do this, they're going to do this. And it may not even be up to the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks or the Bucks or Giannis himself. It may be Adam Silver saying, you're going to the Knicks and I don't care. And you guys just have to make the trade, Bucks and Knicks. And I'm forcing it because this is the product of the NBA. I'm in charge of it. And I want to make money. I want viewership. I want ratings. And we shake this. So if you see this move in December, I'm going to call this is what it is. Seriously. Because in some ways, Giannis has very publicly said he never wants to leave Milwaukee. He has said that. And Luka said the same damn thing about Dallas. Luka didn't ask to get traded. Luka did not want to leave Dallas. They forced him to move. And I'm telling you, it was Adam Silver. It wasn't even Nico Harrison. It was Adam Silver. That's right. Milbester saying they ain't going to get Giannis. We gave up too many picks for Bridges. They're going to go with the team that they have and see what they do next offseason. All right. We'll have to see. It might, like I said, it may not even be up to Leon Rose and James Dolan. It may not even be up to them. It may be the front office says, no, we're putting him on your team because it's good for ratings. And we're doing this because we're not. And we care about these kind of things like ratings and that. Like Luka likes to make that symbol at the refs. That's what they care about right there. G saying, yeah. Oh, wait. Did I skip some of this? Oh, I did. Okay. Oh, here we are. Wait, hang on. Wow, I skipped a lot. Let me go back. All right, y'all. I don't want to talk about the Knicks and Giannis so much, guys. And I didn't want to talk about Davis so much either. Holy crap. You guys put so much in, Milbester, that I can't even find my spot because there's too many comments by you, man. Let's see. All right, here, I'm on G. It says, in the end, health will matter most in the playoffs. Pacers are night and day. Most, if not every team, cannot afford to have key players injured if we get Giannis. Okay, so you're all about it. We'll have to see who goes the other way. G's saying, for me personally, even if Raptors end in the 6th seed but are healthy come playoffs, that would be ideal. I'll say this right now. Everybody who had expectations for the Raptors, if we are a straight up playoff team and not a play-in team, that's a successful year. That's a successful year. Because a lot of people are picking us not even to make the play-in or to be a play-in. If we're a playoff team, that's a successful year for the Raptors, no matter the outcome. Right there. That's it right there. Let's see. Milbester's saying only way we get Giannis is if we trade Mitch and get his salary out. Yeah, you're going to have to trade more than Mitchell. That's for sure. Kaloy's saying Cat and OG will get the Knicks Giannis, and in turn, Milwaukee will flip those for picks. I'd like to see Milwaukee keep OG, though. Milbester's saying Mitch and a couple first-round picks and seconds for Giannis, and the picks we gave them, that's not plausible. You're going to need to trade players if you're getting Giannis. That's right. No one's taking Mitch for Giannis. Yeah, that's not happening. That's pie in the sky, Nick's side thinking that. G's saying, you think Mitch is getting Giannis? Yeah, G's laughing at you too. Mitch is there to match salary with the picks. Okay, whatever. That's not you're crazy talking now. Plays like a younger LeBron. No matter the matchup, he's stronger and he can get off on anyone in the NBA. I agree with that, and that's what we're missing. We need that back. Kaz wants to hear patio lanterns. That's right. Bryan Adams, Alanis Morissette, so many great Canadian artists. Corey Hart, a lot of Canadian artists. Triumph, right? These are all bands that are from up here that get played. Neil Young, because the Canadian content rules. That's right. Milbester's saying, oh, speaking of Canadian content, y'all, I want to do something real quick. All right, listen, I have a place that I like to go to, and there are 2 locations, and I was there yesterday, and I got some cannabis. I got my cannabis here. Yeah, this is Straight Goods on Canadian Goods, guys. And one of the guys who worked there is a guy named Jamie. I told him about my channel. He's a big Raptors fan, and he says he listens every day. And I came in to get my cannabis yesterday. He said, "Hey, Lex, I was watching you earlier on your stream." And that was so cool. So we talked Raptors for a little bit, and I bought some cannabis from him. Yeah, on Blast, Forest Plant. It's a cannabis store, and there's 2 locations. There's one here in Pefferlaw, and then there's one out in Harrowsmith also, where you can get cannabis. And I've got quite a few things of cannabis. I went crazy. And for me, I like to get sativa pre-roll, straight sativa, not a hybrid, no stuff like that. Like this is a Weed Me Grind Sativa 420, and this is a 20 pack. You open this up, and there's there's a whole bunch of little pre-rolled. There's 20 of them in there, little bullets. You can smoke. This one right here is white chocolate. This is a white chocolate sativa, and then I got this is Cosmic Lemonade, Cosmic Lemonade, and then we got sour grapes using smoking out of a pipe. And it would get dirty, and then I'd have bad lungs because of the buildup and all that stuff. So I'm like, I'll just buy pre-rolls, just something little like this. You go outside, just toke it up for 5 minutes. I'm good. That kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been buying my cannabis that way. And this last one is Pineapple Nukem. Pineapple Nukem. Maybe there's a law against showing cannabis on a Forest Plant. Straight Goods on Canadian Goods. Check them out. Thank you, Jamie. And if you're listening to me today, I shouted you out today. That's right. And I hope you get in the comments sometime, Jamie, and just ask questions or give us your opinions on Raptor stuff. Anytime, my guy. And I appreciate you watching the show. That's right. Yeah, real quick there. Use your Straight Goods on Canadian Goods. It's cannabis. Older, and they got no picks after they beat Suns in 2021 finals. Their window to championship closed. They got to trade Giannis and rebuild. That's perception. That's perception. I mean, it is the end of an era for them, and there are a lot of parallels to what's happened with the Bucks since their championship with the Raptors, since their championship in the years after. And maybe Giannis is Siakam. Maybe he is. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Black Mama's saying Jakob needs help. I hate to see people hating on Jakob. He's the man in the middle, and his floater game is sublime. Yeah, I love that little push shot. And yeah, we need more big help for sure. For sure. I've always hated how the Raptors on the roster usually are smaller. They should be bigger overall. I agree with this. I agree with this. First step happened, and then maybe that'll happen. Love to see. Milbester's saying, I wouldn't trade Cat and OG for Giannis. You wouldn't, but Adam Silver may force you to. That's what I'm saying, man. Giannis couldn't even get out of first round the last 3 seasons with the Bucks, and we was making semis during those years with OG, and now East Finals with Cat. Yeah, but I know I'm telling you, it's not up to you guys. It's definitely not up to Knicks Nation. It may not even be up to James Dolan. So I'm just saying, if the NBA wants to do some power move like the Luka move last year, they'll do it. And they don't even ask the teams. They just go ahead and make it happen. That's right. That's right. G saying this, Bucks are not just taking picks, man. Let's be serious here. He's still a top 5 player, no matter the mental gymnastics you're trying to do. He's just trying to idealize the best situation for his franchise. That's all he's doing. We can tell Milbester's pants are a little big on him right now because of where the Knicks are with this G League, with this knockout win over us and going to Vegas. He's a little big for his britches right now. It's fine. It's fine. He won, so he can have this right for right now. G saying this. Yeah, I read that. Kareem Thomas saying, Milbester, you do realize if you don't win a chip in the next 2 years, your team is absolutely fucked. Yeah, this is true too. Them in Cleveland in particular. Yeah, they got payrolls that are crazy, and they don't justify paying that without getting the ultimate championship. Seriously, right there. That's right. Chloe saying, you are not Leon Rose, Milbester. He said you'd rather get Kawhi than Giannis. I always like Kawhi. You want to get Kawhi now over Giannis? You're crazy. You are crazy. Kawhi played really well in the Raptor. I say that's fine, just as long as Scotty and RJ are not going nowhere. Yeah. If that could work, I would be fine if Giannis came here, just as long as Scotty and RJ are still here too. Anybody else can go otherwise. And Pirtle has to stay too. Those 3 guys. And yes, back in my football playing games, we played preseason games against a specific team way above our level and wiped out. Mid-season games, they barely beat us. When preparing for finals, we beat them finally. That's it right there. And I'm giving Sergeant Wayne a dunk for that. He said progress, perfection. You get there. You keep trying and you get a different result down the road because you keep working towards it. 165 for Wayne Strainer on the dunks this year. That's it right there. That's a real case right there. That's right. Milbester, you're monopolizing my channel with too many comments. Plus, Knicks could get Anthony Davis, and we have much better shot blocking and rebounding with him than Giannis for much less. All right, go get Anthony Davis then. Do it. I want than that. We might do something sooner. Infamous is saying, Salute Freaks, is this the call-in show? Yeah, it is. You called yesterday, but you can call in again if you want to, Infamous. We can do Infamous again today if you want to. That's right. Chloe's saying, haha, sorry, Lex, just trolling. Melby. It's fine. You're good. Don't worry, Chloe. It's funny. Nins is here. Good to see Nins, our guy stateside in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, the admin for our Discord server. Morning, Lex and crew. Lex, when I come to Toronto next year, I need you to point me in the direction of the best Mary J. Oh, for sure. For sure, I got you. I got you. It's not hard. There's so many cannabis stores in Ontario at this point that you can just go in and they all have the same stuff. It's all government weed. You know, it's weird because it's like the cigarettes. They put this little seal on the packages, like it's because that's what makes it like the cigarettes, and it's all controlled by the government at this point. So, you know, I could give you old numbers of how I used to do it illegally, but you know, it's pretty easy. You just go to the store, and I mean, it's up to what you like. You know, like you can get really specific. It's sativa, or you know, the other one, which if I smoke, I get paranoid. So yeah, everybody's different. It depends on your likes, but yeah, I'll definitely do that. And seriously, if you're coming to Toronto next year, we need to have a get together and center it around your arrival, so that maybe we can get a bunch of us together at a place like the Real Jerk and just have a really good time and you know, have a blast. Maybe even go to a game, because I went to games with people that came to this. So you know, Nins, and thank you for that you put them in there too. That's awesome. It's awesome. Fiercely saying, Infamous it is. I already called. That's right. Fiercely called. Milbester saying Giannis and RJ together would be fun for the Raptors. It would be interesting. Yeah, yeah. All right. Mamba's got me flexing. Let me get going on more. Let's see Raptors Reddit. Let's see what they're saying. They're celebrating the 11-0 G League start for the 905. It's pretty awesome. Okay, we are getting the call, so we'll go ahead and take it now. This is going to be infamous once again, guys. Let me get it on speaker. I feel like I have periods where I get stuffy at different times of the day, and I'm still kind of fighting something. But there are periods where I feel very healthy, also. So
glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
yeah.
Yes. So the answer to that question, it's unclear for us to make that assessment at this time because we don't have our full roster in place. Like everybody, like because of the injuries, we don't know exactly who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once we get everybody together, playing together, then we can make a qualified assessment down the road. But here's one thing that people got to understand: the Raptors are developing. I mean, a lot of us got a little starstruck and a little bit excited because we're winning these games in the beginning of the season that we're not supposed to win. But we got to take a step back and realize that we're still a team in development. We're still building towards a championship. We're not there yet, right? And just like you mentioned, if we just make the playoffs this year, that is a success.
Yeah.
That is a success. People who are dreaming, let's be honest. People were looking at what happened with Indiana, and they were thinking, "Oh, well, if Indiana could do it, we can do it." And that's what happened with Indiana was an outlier. And these happen sometimes in the NBA. You know, like the Detroit Pistons, the Chauncey Billups Pistons winning the championship, and so forth and so on. So that was an outlier, if we want to be honest. And they got a little bit of luck along the way, which I think we're still trying to build and develop our players towards championship. And we're not there yet, and we just got to be honest with ourselves.
You know, you bringing up Indiana is good because, you know, I even said what you just said that people were saying, because I said it at certain points. If Indiana can go all the way like last year, why couldn't we? But there's a good point in what you're saying is that Rick Carlisle and the group in Indiana had been kind of building up over years just before to get to that in the years past. And it was just kind of like, you know, they're a little bit more older too on average across the team. And that's part of it too. So those are good distinctions. Now, the one thing I will say is, you know, a lot of people that prognosticate for the outcome for the Raptors this year, like I said, we're saying we're either going to miss the playoffs or be a play-in team. Now, if we go from being a non-playoff team to being a straight-up playoff team and not even being a play-in team, that's pretty interesting considering that you have to take those baby steps through the play-in to get to the playoffs. That would be really cool if we could do that. Now, there's no guarantee of that. Obviously, the standings can be shook up and change a bit before the end of the year. But, you know, that would be cool if we could be a straight playoff team and just skip being a play-in team, baby step from non-playoff to play-in to playoff.
Right. Can I give you an interesting perspective that nobody's thinking about the Giannis situation?
Sure.
Okay. Here's what people are not thinking about. As you mentioned many times, Giannis is pretty much a very loyal player, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm putting on the tinfoil coup here. I'm putting on the tinfoil. Here's what I think is happening. Giannis and his agent, right, are basically putting this information out there to force the Bucks into doing something. Here's the thing: you could be a loyal player to a team. But if they feel that you're loyal to them and they don't have to do anything, they could pretty much sit on their hands.
Right.
But if he puts out this information like, hey, you know what, if you guys don't get me some help or you guys don't put some players around me, I'm going to leave. Then they're like, panic. So I think this information, I don't think Giannis get together, put some help around me, put a decent team together. There is a possibility that I'm looking somewhere else. So I think he's trying to force the Bucks' hand.
So he's trying to light a fire under their ass.
Light a fire under them. The other argument is, because I believe there's, two things could be right. The other argument is that the Bucks are saying to him, listen, we're stuck here. We can't really help you. We can't do anything for you. But if you're interested in going somewhere else, we will try to help you out. Mm-hmm. That is the other argument. Because you can look at things both ways. So I think that maybe is what's happening here. He's either forcing them to do something to get the team together. There's to us and say, hey, I'm interested in going to a particular team, and they will try to facilitate a trade to send you where you need to go.
That's interesting. Those are two interesting different perspectives. I mean, that seems kind of two-faced, the first one, as far as like I will be loyal and stuff, but then we're gonna release stuff and try and like from the other way kind of like confuse things. That seems kind of two-faced. I don't know if to me, I get why they would do that if they feel like they're in a situation there's no way out and you got to kind of do what you can, or even kind of lose that whole energy of like him and what he means to Milwaukee. You don't want him to be the bad guy, right?
Yeah, you want to save face.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing
I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know because we're not in the rooms.
Right.
But, you know, I can see two avenues of that. I don't know whichever.
Well, I mean, what over time we'll see how it all works out. Exactly why it happened the way it did. Then,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Either way, man, infamous. Anything else, real quick?
The AD, we got again. We as Raptor fans, something enamored with a shiny new toy. This AD situation, listen, man, pump the brake.
It's damaged.
This is a damaged toy.
Yeah.
This is a toy that you pick up at Value Village. Like you
yeah.
Know, just say no. Stay away from that headache and that
mess. Would you be willing to give the label toxic asset to AD?
Yes.
Because I know that they're starting to say stuff like that about Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, Zion Williamson. Toxic asset.
You got to look. Here's the thing. AD essentially has played a little bit over 50 games a season since he's left the Pelicans. I could be wrong, but he hasn't played that many games or season. I'm talking.
A full season, yeah.
A full season. He's basically played.
And he's had some seasons 50%. Where he's played like only 20 games, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's been work ethic issues with him. I mean, there was a video that was put out about him where he was basically eating a bunch of seafood because you had a seafood platter, and there's been issues of him not taking care of his body during the off season, out there partying and then trying to get in shape pretty much the last couple of weeks going into the season. So there's issues with him. There's issues with his eye. Because he has to wear those glasses for the rest of his career now.
Yeah, and then there's the issues with the position he wants to play.
And the position he wants to play. So there's just so many.
It just seems like a headache.
Lex, that's not to take away from the fact that he's an immensely talented player.
Yep.
If he's healthy and you bring him into your system, listen, that catapults.
You just made me think of something that Fred said in his podcast from the episode yesterday. Fred said that, listen, there's guys like him that are under 6 foot, and it's just kind of talent and easy for them. And they're not the same kind of people. Let's just put it that way. Those two different kind of. Fred himself personifies what we're talking about. And there are a lot of guys that come in the league that are really tall and athletically gifted, but they are not the same kind of competitor, the same kind of person that cares the same level as the little guy who had to work so hard to get there.
Yeah, I think this is just from my outside view looking at AD. He seems to be a player that's enamored with the lifestyle, not necessarily enamored with becoming one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Or becoming the greatest at his position. So that's why I question that. And then the other thing that we got to think about is the money. I mean, you bring in AD, you bring a guy like AD on your team. If you're thinking,
I think you said it yesterday, or you might be mortgaging your future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, infamous.
But that's all I got. That's all I got.
I appreciate it, man. I really enjoy your calls, and I look forward to the next one. And I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. And let's go Raptors.
Let's go Raptors.
All right, man. That's the infamous 6. With Infamous. Awesome, man. Getting good calls in today. Good voices of reason in the Raptor Freak family. Letting people know this is, let's think this all from all sides of it, in every perspective. These things about Anthony Davis. That's right. Anthony Davis. That's right. Let's go. And Milbester saying, Lex, if there was 3 superstar players that the Raptors could get at trade deadline that isn't Giannis and would make your team even better and move up SGA, Nikola Jokic, and I don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo. to do that. Chloe saying this, mic drop, infamous. Clip this and share this with all the Raptors faces. This is what the fan base needs to understand. Yeah, if you guys want, I have no problem with people clipping my stream in little segments and posting it in other places. If you want to share things that you find informative or helpful or something you feel like other people should hear, you guys can clip Infamous's call and put it in other places if you want to. I'm totally okay with this. In some ways, I'm not a proprietary kind of guy. I'm like, hey, if you guys find value in this, let's share the information, is what I'm saying, right? He's a gas set. He's a great point guard, and the best of the Ball brothers is his brother Lonzo on the Cavs, who got back from major injury. Okay, Milbester, if you don't understand this, well, I can tell you, he's a showboat. He doesn't try to win. He's been in the league for how long, and he hasn't gotten better. He's a distraction. He's a highlight reel, but he's not a winning player. And honestly, they're trying to trade him right now, and nobody wants him. So you tell me how he's so great. Seriously, the Hornets are shopping him currently, and there is nobody in this league that wants him. And I'm not the one who called him a toxic asset. ESPN wrote an article about the names that I named being toxic assets because nobody's interested in Trae Young. Nobody's interested in LaMelo Ball. Nobody's interested in Zion Williamson. And nobody's interested in John. I'll give you Exhibit B, Milbester. When we played the Hornets the last two times when they beat us, they had success when LaMelo left the game. And they started winning when he left the game. And he did not play in crunch time against the Raptors to seal the deal to beat us. He had nothing to do with why they beat us. In fact, he got taken out, and they did better without him. So Con Knippel's team is the Hornets now. And LaMelo Ball is being shopped around, and nobody fucking wants him. So there you go. You'd rather get LaMelo than Trae? Well, I wouldn't want either of them, is what I'd say right there. That's right. And that's not me. This is ESPN's article saying these guys are toxic assets that are not worth anything right now. In fact, this is the kind of market that the NBA may get into, is you have really high-level players like Ben Simmons that get paid a lot, but they suck and they're toxic, and you just trade toxic assets for toxic assets. You know, there's going to be good assets that you want and that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening. Here's an article. Here's somebody posted this on Raptors Reddit that the Spurs are 9-3 without Wemby. That is crazy. That is crazy, man. Yeah, that is crazy. Anyway, I'm done with Raptors Reddit. That kid who dances, he's a superstar. That little kid who's dancing at the game. Y'all, if you have fantasy teams in our Yahoo Fantasy League, you guys got to get your players in and get your lineup set up, because the matchups are hot and heavy this week. And, well, Yahoo Fantasy goes on whether you're paying attention to it or not. So if you want your record to be good and do well in it, well, you got to keep it up just like a houseplant. So, yeah, there you go. Go on and check your Yahoo teams, y'all. Let me see. Where am I at in the chat right now? Let's keep going. Let's see. Fiercely saying, get LaMelo, Lebester, and tell us about it in 2 or 3 months. Laughing out loud. I hope the Knicks get LaMelo. Point guards, all we need is a center that can score like Anthony Davis or Zubac. I always love Zubac. I don't even consider LaMelo a point guard. I don't understand what you're saying he's a point guard. I don't know what position he plays. I think he plays circus llama. That's what he plays. All right, yeah, let's do the classic card, and we'll get out of here, guys. We got a couple calls in today. We got some talking on the subject. I'm going to give my opinion on the Raptors' outlook for the rest of the year in just a second after we finish this. So, yeah, let's get a card out. Who's it going to be today? Oh, this is an old school one. This is going to be a classic. This may be a little bit of tough for you guys if you're not well-versed in the history of the NBA. It's like DZ. This may be your time, bro. All right, here you go. The classic card is the Clipper. It is not the younger brother of the great human highlight. This is classic. This is not a current player. This is somebody who played in the league back when the Wilkins brothers did play in the league. So if you know who that Clipper is, you can get the classic card points. I need a full name answer, though. So, yeah, Vernon. Vernon is a half-ass answer. Half-assing it. Full-ass, half-assing it. Vernon Davis of the San Francisco, Florida. That is not Vernon Maxwell. If that's who you think that is not Vernon Maxwell. This is a Clipper. And I don't know if Vernon Maxwell played for the Clippers. I don't remember that. But, yeah, that's Gerald Wilkins behind him. Gerald Wilkins, of course, was born in Georgia, while Dominique was born in Paris. but they are brothers. Gerald Wilkins, formerly of the New Wilkins, was actually a pretty good dunker too. He did do a lot of dunk contests, just like Dominique, but he never won any of them. But he was involved in the dunk contest. You guys remember Gerald Wilkins? Yeah, I do. He was a pretty good player. He was on when he was on the Magic. I was watching him then. But yeah, y'all don't have any idea who this is right here. This man right here. This player right here. All right. I need guesses, though. Y'all need to give me at least one more guess, and I'll give you clues on the name. More hints, please. Well, I need the guesses. And Milbester, we're not talking about Cat and all this. I don't care. I'm ignoring your Knicks comments at this point because we're winding down the show, and I don't give a shit about what the Knicks are going to do. I don't care. All right. So, yeah, classic card. We pay attention to what we're doing now. And, well, I get fiercely. Just put what you guys think that is. Seriously. I'm not going to take just Vernon as a guess. That's the only guess y'all have for this. Just put in something. Make a name up. I don't care. I'll tell you if it's right or not or close enough. You know, just give me some sort of guess, and I can work with you on giving you a hint. I don't like just giving hints just to give it to you. I want to see if somebody can actually guess it. Slug Deasy should know this card. Some of the old fans should know. Isaac Campbell, you don't know who this is? That's right. Kareem said, I know this guy. I swear. You might. He was a starter. Yeah, Gerald Wilkins. Yeah, we already went over that, Milbester. His name is on the back, and we know that's Gerald Wilkins. I already talked extensively about him. Guess Thomas Young. There was Danny Young, but I don't remember a Thomas Young. Oh, Kareem did get it. Not Cary Grant, the old Hollywood star. It's Gary Grant. And wow, look at that. I like that. Kareem, you figured it out. He's like, I know who this is. And he's searching his mind. He went inside his brain and he searched into the depths and he found it. Finally, the name was Gary Grant. And Kareem Thomas is going to get it. And you know what? I'm so happy and proud of him. I'm going to give him 300 points for it. That's right. You got a 300-point card for getting Gary Grant. Because maybe I should go by the decades. That was like 3 decades ago. So, yeah, 3 decades, 100 points each decade, 300. There you go. Kareem Thomas. That's right, dunk champion. That's right. All right, let's see. I have no birthdays today, guys. Tomorrow, Friday freak out. We'll see what I have kind of a contingency for the stream tomorrow. Depending on whether the 905 win tonight or not, I will be doing a stream on them tomorrow because I might be freaking out about a dozen, a perfect dozen. So, yeah, we're getting real close. We're just at 2 hours. Let me get out of here. My wrap up for the game last night. The stars of the game for the 905 over the Delaware Bluecoats: Quincy Guerrier, Jonathan Mobo, Chucky Hepburn, AJ Lawson, and Tyson Degenhart. And they will be playing again tonight. The referees are Claudia Mula, Ken Jones, and AJ Ganelli. On the subject of today's show, the Raptors are hard to gauge. When we've been fully healthy, we won a lot. So I think that we are a very good team and that we are a playoff team, not a play-in team, that I still think that we could be a top 4 Eastern team with a home court advantage in the first round. It's just that we got to get healthy and we have to continue to work hard, get rest, do things correctly, progress, get better. I think that Wayne's comment earlier about progressing in the season is very key and is exactly on point. And that the Raptors, because they're a high aptitude team, a team that adjusts well at halftime and makes adjustments in the third and does really well. If you look at their whole entire season, they can adjust and do well and grow as a team over the year. Because every year, a basketball team comes to the NBA season as a work in progress. And they're not exactly who they are at the beginning of the season. They go through the season and they learning lessons. They're losing a little bit more than they're winning right now. So this break is going to be huge. These 5 days off, they'll feel rejuvenated. They'll actually get some practice days in because they get yesterday and today off, but starting tomorrow on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're back together, and they're probably running a full practice on Friday during the day at OVO Center. So it's a long season. There's ups and downs. There's no clear clutch snapshot of who the Raptors are at any one moment. And as many have said, maybe they're not exactly as great as a 9-0 win streak. Maybe they're not as bad as a 1-4 start. And they're somewhere in the middle. I tend to say that you look at them when they're healthy and what they were doing, and that is who they are. And well, they may not be perfect. They may lose games, and they may have had some luck in clutch games that they goes further. And also the X factor in this is Bobby Webster, the front office, and the possible moves we can do to improve our team during the season also still. So yeah, head up, chin up, no more doomsday, no more chicken littling, no more thinking that things are really bad in Raptors Nation, because they are not. Things are very good in Raptors Nation. And we just need to get a clean bill of health and some rest. And you all will see I'm exactly right. All right. I appreciate everybody watching the Raptor Freak stream today. Tomorrow, I'm going to come in and freak out tomorrow night. That's tomorrow during the morning. That's right. I'm going to be freaking out. That's right. Gary Grant, late 80s. Yeah. This card is from, let's look at the card on the back. The glare is bad. Yeah. See, this is a card from 1993. And this man was playing for the Clippers. Yeah, it's sad. He was Michigan. That's right, Michigan. Gary Grant. There he is. Gary Grant. Yeah, top first round pick. Seattle Supersonics. That's right. Yeah, Clippers were terrible in the 90s. That's right. They're terrible right now too, Milbuster. That's right. What time is the game tonight? 7:30. Paramount Fine Food Center on YouTube in Canada. You can watch the game on YouTube, and that's where I'll be in the chat. That's right. Yeah, we're good. We'll adjust accordingly. That's right. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the stream today. Thanks for the calls today, MJ and Infamous. And I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope you guys have a great Thursday afternoon. And I'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Raptors 905. And let's get a perfect 12-0. That's right, baby. Let's go.